Hello everybody, my name is Leo and with this video we will try to answer the question: is the Fractal FM3 worth almost double the money you need to buy a Pod Go? We will try to answer this question first of all sharing a demo song, hearing the two units in action, then we will describe the main differences between the two units with a very detailed comparison chart, then we will hear more sounds in a dedicated section of this video where I will also try to give you an idea of how this unit feels. That is something a lot of you are asking in the comments of my comparison videos. And actually the Pod Go has the same sound engine of the Line6 Helix, so this test is also like comparing the sound and feel of the Fractal FM3 against a Line6 Helix. And finally, as usually, I will give you my 2 cents. So I hope you enjoy and please subscribe and hit the bell, it's gonna really help me to make more videos like this. Let's start with the demo song, and by the way there is a link to an extended version of this demo song in the card above or description below. We will now check the main differences between the two units among the following parameters: amps and cabs built-in, support for third-party IRs, number of presets, number of effects, effect chain management, media availability, type of audio inputs and outputs, number of foot switches and external controllers input, screen, looper and drum machine characteristics, ADA conversion and USB support, special features available in both the unit, current, power dimension, weight and price. If you have seen my previous videos, you know that typically I compare each parameter and then I propose you an evaluation of which unit is better. But here it does not make too much sense as the FM price is more than 2 times higher than the Pod Go, and so it is presumably going to be better in many aspects. As regards amps, cabs and mics, we have 277 amps, more than 2000 cabs IRs, with the possibility to have 2 cabs at once for the FM3. Furthermore, the FM3 cabinet simulator block can load up to 2 impulse responses with a specific function that allows us to visually align the phase or to adapt the room size to our need. On the other hand, the Pod Go offers 83 amps, 39 cabs and 16 mics. And with the Pod Go you can basically change the distance of the mic but not the position. Both the unit supports third-party IRs where the FM3 has 1024 slots where to load them and 128 are offered by the Pod Go. Both Fractal and Line6 offer scarce details about the quality of their IR. They should be 48 kHz for the FM3 and I found no info about the Pod Go. If you know this info, please let us know in the comments comment below. We then have 512 presets in the FM3, where in the POD GO we have 256 patches, arranged in 32 banks, each of 4 patches, one for the user and one with the Line 6 presets. The FM3 offered also 8 scenes for each preset, where each scene is a specific combination of parameters of the signal chain, while the POD GO offers 4 snapshots for each patch, where the Line 6 snapshot concept is similar to Fractal Audio scene. As regards effects, the FM3 offers more than 250 effects arranged in a matrix of 12 by 4 blocks, with a really rich variety of different effects, like for instance a multiband compressor or a tall box, that are pretty rare effects in these types of unit. The POD GO, on the other hand, has 193 effects in 8 blocks, with 4 free blocks where you can load 44 different distortions, 16 compressions, 80 modulations or delay, 17 reverbs or 29 pitch or filter effects. Then one block is dedicated to 7 different types of EQ, 1 to volume and 1 to 10 different wah. Another important difference between the two units is that with FM3 you can arrange the effects in a matrix of 12 by 4 blocks, where with the POD GO you have 8 blocks one after the other. So the POD GO is simpler but more rigid. With the FM3 you have a lot of flexibility in building your signal chain. The FM3 offers a MIDI in and out port, while the POD GO has no MIDI ports. As regards input and output, the FM3 has a guitar input, a stereo effect loop, a balanced stereo output and an headphone output, where the POD GO offers a guitar in, a stereo FX loop, a balanced and unbalanced stereo output in the same TRS socket, an amp out. As regards foot switches and external controllers, the POD GO is better than the FM3, as it has 8 foot switches and an expression pedal built in. Then the FM3 has 2 inputs for external expression pedal, where the POD GO has 1 of them. They both have a very nice and well visible color screen, not touch sensitive. The looper of the FM3 offers longer loops support with 120 seconds against the 20 seconds offered by the POD GO. None of the unit offers a drum machine. As regards ADA conversion and USB capability, the FM3 offers 24-bit at 48 kHz conversion with 114 dB of dynamic range and 4 USB channels. The POD GO also offers 4 USB channels and it can reach 96 kHz of conversion rate at 24-bit. So here the specification of the POD GO seems to be better than the ones of the FM3, thanks to its 96 kHz against 48 of the FM3. But no info about the number of dB of dynamic range managed by the POD GO are available, so I'm not sure if the POD GO converters are really better. As regards special features, I would mention the synth available in the FM3, along with the simulation of microphone preamps, which is pretty cool. The FM3 has an internal PSU, where the POD GO has an external power bricks and needs 9V at 2500 mA. As regards dimension, the FM3 is a little bit smaller, even if taller, but heavier, and in fact it is built like a tank and seems to be very sturdy and robust. As regards the price, well, the FM3 is way pricier, and it can get even more costly adding the FC6 foot switches. So, all in all, the FM3 price is more than 2 times the price of the POD GO, and in fact it is better in almost all the parameters of this comparison chart, with the exclusion of the number of foot switches, the expression pedal and the price. In fact, thanks to this feature, in my opinion, the POD GO is more ready to be used live, where with the FM3 you would need to buy an external MIDI controller. Now let's hear some more sounds to verify if, even as regards the tone, the FM3 is superior to the POD GO. I've received a lot of questions in the comments of my other comparison video asking me what about the feels of the amp modeling pedalboard against the real deal. So now we are gonna try to answer these questions, even if I was a little bit skeptical in trying to discuss this topic in such videos, because the feel is something very personal and the risk here is to introduce biased opinions. In order to be as much unbiased as possible, we will make a few different tests. First of all, we will try to match the sounds of the 3 units in terms of overdrives, level and in terms of frequency response. Then we will check out the bass response and the high frequency response. Then we will check how the modelers manage the change of volumes and how they cleans up and how they breaks up in comparison with the real deal. I mean the dynamic response, I would say. And finally, we will check the envelope of the note. I mean, when we pick the note, how the modelers are responding in comparison with the real deal. First of all, I have my guitar that is connected to a Electro-Harmonix 3 parallel remixer, to which are connected the real Marshall in channel 1, then the FM3 in channel 2, and the Pod Go in channel 3. The modelers are set exactly as the amp is set, I mean everything to null but the volume level of the Marshall, which is set to 8. So basically, as you can see, the gain level of the two channels are set to 8 also in the FM3 and also in the Pod Go. I'm using the same IR for all the 3 units. I mean, the amp is going into a solo reactive load, and then it is recorded in my digital audio workstation, where I have loaded an IR of a Greenback G12M. The same IR is loaded inside the FM3 and inside the Pod Go. So no difference here can derive from the speaker simulation we are using. And I have to say that the FM3 has a lot of more possibility as regards the speaker simulation than the Pod Go. For instance, you can load 2 mics, an SM57 and a Royer if you want. You can add the preamp. It provides you a lot of more possibility. Here I'm using just an IR with 1 microphone, just in order to put the FM3 and the Pod Go in the same level. But let's start. Way different. So let's try to match the sounds. Okay, so basically one thing very strange here is that the 2 channels of the Marshall are jumped, and both the volumes are set to 8, and with the modelers I have basically to set to 0 the level of the normal channel using only the high treble one, and I have also to set the treble knob almost all the way up. So the real deal has much more high frequencies. The tone is much more glassy in a way that I like, honestly. And the FM3 is more gainy. Okay, now they are pretty similar. As you may have noticed, the treble knob of the FM3 has much more excursion. In fact, I can add even more high while I'm at the maximum level of the Pod Go. And also the level of drive of the FM3 is higher. I mean, I am almost at 8 here, and with the Pod Go I am almost at 9. The frequency response of the Marshall, in my opinion, is unmatched, and I prefer it, but I have to say that the modeler come close. As I said, the FM3 provides you with more gain if you want, and more high if you want, while the Pod Go has a little less gain excursion and a little less high frequency excursion. Bass frequency now. pretty similar, and all three behaves pretty well, I have to say. Now, dynamic response, real Marshall. FM3. Very hard to tell. Okay, they are pretty similar and they manage pretty well the dynamic response of your playing, your touch, your volume. I have to say that both the FM3 and the Real Marshall are a little bit more sparkly in the high end than the Pod Go. And as I say, this is due maybe to the higher excursion of the treble knob that the FM3 has that allow it to reach the level of high of the real deal. But I have to say that the modeler behaves pretty well. Now let's see how they react to your touch. I like a lot how they react to the pick. I have to say that I still prefer a little bit the real deal than the FM3 and then the Pod Go. As also in this test, the Pod Go is lacking that little bit of air in the high frequency that allows the FM3 to get closer to the real deal, in my opinion. Many of you ask me also about the latency. I mean, one parameter to evaluate the feel and the responsiveness is the latency. Here I have to say that I don't know how to test it to make you listen to the latency. If somebody knows a test that we can do, please let me know. I have to say that I have no problem with neither of the two modelers. I mean, their response, in my opinion, is very quick. I can't hear any latency, but once more, this is my personal opinion. Now, final considerations here, and please notice that this is gonna be my personal opinions for my specific use cases, and of course you may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. Now, as the price of the FM3 is so much higher than the one of the Pod Go, as you can expect, it offers a lot more. You have more amps, more cabs, more effects, a very flexible effect signal chain that let you combine the effects in many different ways and so on. But the Pod Go, on the other hand, is more ready to be used live as it has more foot switches and an expression pedal built in, where with FM3 in order to play live, basically you need to attach it to an external MIDI controller. So the FM3 is not better in every aspect, and therefore, coming back to the initial question, is it worth the extra money? Well, in my opinion, the answer is yes. And the reason is it needs much higher tweakability. With the FM3 you have tons of parameters to check and you can really sculpt your sound. As you learn their impact on the sound, you also enhance your knowledge of tube amps. And actually, I love to have something that let me grow with it. I mean, that I can explore, learning always something new. That's why, in my opinion, I would spend the extra money for the FM3. Let me close these considerations with a reference to the more sound section of this video, where I've learned, for instance, that the gain and high frequency knob of the FM3 have more excursion in comparison with the ones of the POD GO. Of course, with the POD GO you can get a pretty realistic sound, but thanks to the extra tweakability of the FM3 I can refine the sound much more. And this let me cover that extra mile that at the end of the day put a smile into my face. Of course, the POD GO is a great unit and you can get pretty amazing sound, but you know, I am an amp nerd and the FM3, well, is the king of the nerd amp modeling pedalboards. But now it's your turn and I really would like to know your opinions. Which one is the better option for you? Is the sound difference between the two units a key deciding factor for you? Is there any feature offered by one of these two units that is very important for you? Is finally the FM3 worth the extra money? Please let me know your opinions in the comment below. And I would also kindly ask to all of you who require the so-called field test if what I did in the more sound section of this video is fine, or if you have some suggestions to improve it. Please drop me a comment. We have now reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did it, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell and leave a thumbs up. If you're interested in my music, you can check out a link to a playlist of songs of mine in the description below. And I've also done a specific video with an extended version of the demo song that you may want to check out. Thank you once more and see you in the next video. Bye bye.